Why am I so passionate about this argument? Why am I so unwavering and have so much conviction in this moment? Why am I so angry?
The anger sharks are swimming in my head.
Why does this feel like this is this swell of emotion that makes me want to like punch this wall? What is this? What's good, YouTube? TV Likes here, bringing you guys another video today. Yes, today you guys, this video is going to be a little different. I did something recently. And honestly, this was something that I never thought that I would do. I gotta say, you guys, it went a lot better than I thought it would. If you're interested in that video, stay tuned. Anytime you talk about therapy, the first question that comes along a lot of people's mind is, why do y'all need it? What's going on? Trouble at home? That motherfucker crazy. There's so many things that go on in people's head when they just hear the word. So I think setting things in proper context is gonna be really, really beneficial for everybody. Now, growing up, I was a military brat. I came from two hardworking people from Gaston, Alabama, who served the Army 20 years. They took me and my sister all across the globe, duty stations like Fort Leonard Wood, Fort Sill, Fort Lewis. I'm also the oldest of three. I've got a little sister and a little brother. My little sister is only about 1.5 years younger than me. My little brother is about 13 years old right now. Saying all that to say that from a very young age, I was learning about hard work and sacrifice. What also came from that two-parent household and all that sacrifice and hard work were some blind spots. Some of those blind spots just straight up came from the fact that my family was an old school fire and brimstone family. Two people from Gaston, Alabama who came up, they was getting whoopings, they came up with a certain type of love, and so as a result, my sister and I received that same type of love. But what I also realized is that they were also dealing with their own battles, their own internal traumas, and some of those birth those blind spots. And it's really, really tough sometimes when you have to start to do a little bit of that unpacking about your childhood, because it's not something that you are ever able to see until you're able to see it. Kind of like when you were a child back in the day and you could hear words, you could hear lyrics, but you really couldn't tell what anybody was saying. It just kind of sounded like gibberish.
What is she saying on that verse?
I know I'm not the only one who had that experience as a child. Let me know in the comment section if you know what I'm talking about. Even movies, you tend to not experience things in full until you're able to, until you walk the path to be able to see what you're intended to see.
That must be Lord Farquaad's castle.
That's the place.
Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?
Now, me being in a situation where I'm a provider, I'm a husband, I'm a father, it's kind of bringing all these things full circle. It is revealing these blind spots in a very real way. Coming up in the household that I came up in, I had to realize that my socialization was geared towards some things that may not have always been the best examples. And some of these things, they're not even like drastically crazy. Some of them are just seeing your parents argue in a way that may not always be the most healthy. Some of them could be getting your ass whooped for every single thing. I joked with y'all on a live one time, and I remember the day that my father told me that I wasn't getting whoopings anymore. I was like 16 years old, y'all. And I know for a lot of people in the comment section that might be a lie. And I vividly remember when my father told me this, it felt like I had become a person. I had finally had the freedom to fully showcase my personality and everything that I was. I finally had the ability to speak up for myself. I vividly remember this day to this day. 32 years old, I'm finally at a space where I realize that's not okay. As amazing as my family was, as healthy as the love was, as amazing as the examples will continue to just echo through the generations and time, there were some things. Your socialization may be bringing things into your relationship and unfortunately in front of your children that you just can't allow to continue. With the type of socialization that I had in my family, I saw cussing. I saw people calling each other out of their name. I saw things getting thrown. Mom and dad, I love you. This ain't to throw shade on my family. I love my family. Just telling the truth. As a result of that, I came up creating some very clear lines for how I was going to deal with my relationship. Lines like, I'm never going to call my wife out of her name.
Gun away, nigga.
Can we have one night where there ain't no fight, nobody gets shot?
Shut up, child of God.
Essentially a bunch of things that I learned from my mother and father that I thought that I was going to take some good and some of the bad. You learn from both. Because of the blind spots, unfortunately, even creating those rules doesn't create a sufficient enough strategy to be able to effectively love the family the way that you need to be able to effectively lead the way that you need to. So even though I was creating these rules and I was thinking I was doing the right thing, I was still dealing with things like, why am I so passionate about this argument? Why am I so unwavering and have so much conviction in this moment? Why am I so angry?
The anger sharks are swimming in my head.
Why does this feel like this is this swell of emotion that makes me want to like punch this wall? What is this, you know? And I go back to that moment. 16, I became a person. How much of that plays a role? How much of my childhood, how much of what I saw, how much of all those things play into these moments, play into who I am, play into my conflict resolution? The question, why choose therapy? The answer becomes clear at that point. I want my blind spots to be something that I am intentional about. The reality of it is, y'all, don't nobody come up in a perfect environment. Maybe you don't feel like you need therapy, but to think that you don't have any blind spots, to think that your discernment, conviction, mental capability can see everything that you're dealing with subconsciously. I'm still coming to realizations about things that I've just done last year. Like, oh snap, why didn't I even consider this? Still to this day, I'm learning every single day. So why would you look at your brain as any different? I don't want to come off like the DeVry guy because I feel like this video might be ranting a little bit. That was the why. That's why I chose to embark on the journey of therapy. I want to be the best leader, the best lover, the best father, husband that I could possibly be. And I don't want me and my upbringing and my origins to pass down any generational curses or continue to perpetuate any nasty, vicious cycles. It ends with me. And I think it's empowering that therapy can help me with that. As for the actual experience, it was pretty straightforward, honestly. I have a work benefit at my job that gives me free session for my kids, for me. If we need anything, we gotta be a therapy. So when I chose a therapist, the first therapist that I chose was a woman. And unfortunately, she canceled on me. The reason I chose a woman at first was because I wanted to make sure that in my journey to best love and kind of learn the love languages that I was hearing from a woman to sort of get that feminine perspective. I feel like a therapist canceling on you, it just, there's a nasty dark joke there. Fuck you! This feels weird. Second therapist I chose was an older black man. I feel like when it comes to older black men, I feel like there is a wealth of knowledge just by the sheer fact that you are existing and you are able to be here as a thriving human being. I mean, in my experience, obviously there's nothing that has beat a black woman's love, but even a black man's wisdom at the barbershop, man, I've always taken something from just the road and the walk that they've traveled, just by us sharing that mutual, manhood. The situation was pretty straightforward. It wasn't a very emotive exchange from him. He was just hearing me out. It was a little bit of fielding questions, told him about some things and how I had processed them and the ways and the actions and behaviors around them. Pretty quickly into our exchange, he did share with me that he felt like I needed some work with anger management. Something about hearing a therapist tell you about yourself, it was the first time that I had really considered it. Because again, full circle moment, my socialization, my upbringing, I had watched my dad kind of deal with anger as well. It kind of was like this moment where I was like, yo, nah. What I can say from the initial call was it wasn't like I was hearing new information or things that I couldn't necessarily access if I had the time to myself. But what it was the ability to look at a situation, have someone process it with me, and kind of do like a play-by-play. So why did you feel this way? Why did you act that way? How are you feeling as a result of this? It's just a cool way to sort of engage in a sparring and probing so that you can kind of like figure out how to best think about something. I would highly recommend anybody who can do therapy to do it. Somebody asked me why I'm going to therapy. It's for the same reason I'm going into the gym every single day. It's because I want to be in shape. When it comes to mental health, you guys, we got to start thinking about that. Let's change the stigma. And if I can help, here I am. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it was pretty scattered. It was all over the place. This was just about sharing. I don't even know, like I'm recording this right now. I don't even know if I'm gonna be doing a whole bunch of editing and stuff. I might just make this raw, straight cut for y'all so I can get some more time with my family. I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, let me know. If you have an experience with therapy, share in the comment section below. Don't call me crazy. It's been TV Locks, signing out.